was there for 8 years. And then a very good friend of mine worked at Imperial Bank. He was on the auditing department. And they had come into merchant services at Imperial Bank and done an audit. And they told Bill Capps, you need to hire a sales manager. You guys need to really downstream. Somebody should be managing the employees. And so this gentleman, oh my God, I forgot, Todd, called me and said, hey, since you're in this industry, why don't you go in there and I'm gonna refer you and meet with them. And I go, oh no, I'm really, really happy where I'm at. And I was making great money. Plus I had my own hours and I was a single mom at the time. Madison was little, so I would take her to, preschool. I would do my meetings. I would pick her up. This is before she started kindergarten. So it was like, I loved my freedom and the ability to go out and sell and work my own hours. And I said, but he goes, well, I'll tell you what, if you know people in the industry and you bring them in and they get the job, he can make $5,000 and I'll split it with you. I go, okay. So I go in there and I meet with Bill Capps and Joe Jorling. And I kept asking him questions like, okay, so do you guys work with, with your branches? You have so many branches. Are you getting, they go, no, they don't give us anything. Our salespeople really go out there. The one department that's giving us a lot is because Imperial Bank had really been like the pioneer in taking on e-commerce back in the day. Nobody was doing, Wells Fargo wasn't doing e-commerce. So we had emerging growth offices where we would, finance these startup. They were like underwriting it. They were doing rolling reserves. We had our own like wholesale ISO, so Imperial Bank was very entrepreneurial. It was started by 2 entrepreneurial bankers. So they really, I think they had a different division that would actually invest in these startups. And we would do the processing for them. I was like giving them a lecture and that's where your bread and butter is. You really need to work your branches and that's what you got. And I was excited about it, telling them what to do and telling them, do you guys work with the American Express reps and the Diners reps? And they're like, no. I go, wow, so when I left that interview, and the recruiter guy calls me, they want you to come work for them. I go, oh, no, I'm not interested, but I have some great people. Well, this guy hounded me. And Todd calls me, goes, Naomi, Bill wants you. You know what? Ask him for the ridiculous. Tell them what you want. Tell them, So I asked him for a senior VP title. I asked him for, at that time, $110,000, which was a lot back then. I said, this is the only way I'll leave because right now, I was making around 80 at the time, with my but I had all the freedom with my salary and my commissions. Told them what I wanted, and holy crap, they came back and they said, absolutely, you got it. And then it was kind of like this podcast, oh crap, what am I doing? When I decided to do this podcast, I was like, what did I get myself into? But it was crazy because I really didn't have the confidence because I wasn't a manager and that was my thing. I'm like, but I don't know how to be a manager. I've never been a manager. And Joe's like, I'll send you to courses and I will help you. And Bill was blown away. Oh, the salespeople hated me. They never had to do forecasts or reports. And I wanted, and then I remember another really good thing that happened when I started is a very good friend of mine, John Yarbrough. I didn't even know he was senior VP with all the commercial banks. So all those banks that weren't referring business to our division all reported to him. And the first day there, he goes, I'm taking you to lunch. And he sat me down. He goes, well, Naomi, I got news for you. He goes, you can either be really successful here and do nothing, because a lot of people come in here and they do these jobs and they don't do nothing and you can write it and the company's not even gonna notice, or you can really make a difference. And I go, well, God, I want to make a difference. And he goes, none of the branches refer business to you guys because you guys have really, the service and support hasn't been there. And you guys have a lot of turnover and the salespeople, nobody's managing them and they're really not responding to the calls and no one's going in to the branches and working them. He goes, all our other divisions in the bank, everyone's in there. The treasury management, they're all in there working the bank. Your division's kind of like, you guys are, the Wild Wild West. You're doing your .com type of business and you're not really, we were really like a wholesale ISO. He goes, if you really want to make a difference here, you got to meet with every single branch manager. He goes, and I'm going to set up that meeting for you, and I'll go with you, and I'll introduce you. But then it's up to you. And you could either make it work, but you're going to have to prove yourself. So that put a lot of pressure on me, but it was great. I mean, the challenge, I realized that I loved the challenge. First of all, the salespeople hated me. I made them do forecasts. I would sit down with, and I knew, because I was a salesperson, I knew when they were lying and they were making it up. And what is the percentage? I knew all their tricks. I knew everything. They couldn't get anything past me. And the other thing that I wanted to be as a manager is I really wanted to roll up my sleeves and be one of them. And I used to say, look, I want you to be successful, and if you're successful, you're going to make me look good. I always believe that a manager should be, roll up their sleeves and be with them and support them and help them be successful. So I would tell them, it started by traveling a lot, which was really hard because I was a single mom and I had to leave my daughter with my mom and leaving her. And I think that was the one thing that was really hard for me, because I did live out of a suitcase, especially that first year. But I would go to all of the branches. We had a lot in Northern California. And I would go in there and I would let the bank managers just unleash on me. And I would sit there and I'd say, look, I don't know, I'm new. What I'm gonna promise you is that if you send me an email, if you call me, that you're gonna get a response from me right away. I know that our division has failed you guys in the past and that you guys don't refer any business to us, but I'm not here to ask for your business, I'm here to earn your business. So what can I do to earn your business? I want you to just give me a shot.
Subscribe and follow Girls Just Want to Have Funs for the rest of this story and others like it.